Okay, before I go to the application, there's some terms and words that you may need to know. For example, we use the word hydrocarbon, basically means hydrogen and carbon. Okay, only, right? Important things only. Sometimes students leave out the words only. Right? Then of course, this one you know already, saturated means it's carbon single bond, unsaturated means carbon double bond. Right? And actually alkane are generally aqueous. I mean actually sorry, are generally colorless liquid. Okay. So the only way to differentiate is we add bromine. So let me show you a reaction of what actually happens. Okay, so for example, you got alkene, okay, you add bromine. Obviously, this bromine is reddish brown in color. But when there's the reaction, reaction will be much more faster because alkene are actually more reactive because they're unsaturated, they haven't reached the maximum point yet. So they are much more reactive as compared to alkane. By shaking them, all right, addition will happen. Addition always happen across the double bond. That means you can see the bromine will add across the double bond. All right. That means now the bromine are no longer bonded. That's why it becomes decolorized means become colorless. All right. So it's just like imagine double bond. Okay. Then you open up your it's like folding your arms, then you open up, you grab one hand can only grab one bromine. So one hand represents one carbon. It won't be the same bromine adding to the same carbon. Alright? So that's why when the reddish brown turn colors, then we know that this is alkene or the compound contain unsaturated carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, if it remain reddish brown, means there's no reaction going on. Alright, that means it's unsaturated. I mean, sorry, that means it's saturated. There's no carbon-carbon double bond. Right. Okay, so let's go to one questions of this. Okay, you can look at this. So we'll look at it. Some of the things that we need to know already. Propene means an alkene, so I must recall CnH2n. Prop is 3 carbon. So I must put in the formula C3H6. So alkene go through reaction, no addition reaction generally. So basically it's hydrogen. So basically it's C3H6 plus hydrogen. Okay, addition very easy to write, just adding on only. So just C3H, right? The hydrogen add in 6 plus 2, 8. That's why it become propane. Addition of hydrogen will become propane, right? And we see bromine, we know it stands for alkene. So only when there's an alkene and the reddish brown will turn colors, right? That's what we mentioned before already. Then of course, if it's alkane, it's saturated, there's no carbon-carbon double bond, then it remain reddish brown. That's how we differentiate, right? So we just take it like how test for carbon dioxide gas, we use lime water, right? YPPT form. How to test for hydrogen gas, like a splint, as extinguish with pop sound. So same thing, how to test for unsaturated, how to differentiate, how to identify unsaturated or alkene equals bromine. It's a very standard reagent that we use. And of course, we mentioned all of them go through complete combustion, burn in oxygen. So definitely get you a carbon dioxide and steam. So that's how we slowly, study this chart, this flow chart, and then we can answer the questions. Okay, so we mentioned so addition of hydrogen, right? It's either addition of hydrogen or called hydrogenation. Then of course give you a propane. Okay, if they say identify, you can give name or formula, both is fine, unless sometimes they say name, you must give name. Right? Formula, then must give C3H8. Okay, this one by right, a better answer will be writing complete combustion will be the best. Okay, because of the excess oxygen. You see? Mention here excess oxygen. Alright. Then of course you get carbon dioxide and water. So we mentioned already. It'll be better if we can say the reddish the or the okay, we can say the reddish brown bromine turns colorless. Okay, right? And how write the equation you can see for yourself, same thing. All right, Vr2, it's just uh adding on. So it becomes C2H is Vr2. Okay, do take note, all right, where the double bond is after addition, you open up, then the bromine add across the two carbon. Okay, then how we write this excess oxygen? Okay, how we write so it can start with, okay, we know it's propane, then we plus oxygen first, right? Then we know give it carbon dioxide and steam. So step by step. So normally oxygen, the element, we will leave the last one to balance. Because so writing equation, same thing, we write the formula first, then we balance the equation. When we balance, we check. element by element. I check carbon first, 3, then I'll put a 3 carbon here. Right, 8 hydrogen, then I must put a 4 here so that I will have 4 times 2, 8 hydrogen. So let's check the oxygen. 3 times 2, there's 6 oxygen. 4 times 1, there's 4 oxygen. So total, there is 10 oxygen on the right-hand side. But left-hand side, okay, must make it 10, so I'll put a 5. Right, that's how we balance the equation. All right, okay, take note, all right, substitution, you will definitely need UV light, okay, or sunlight. Okay, that means in darkness, nothing will happen. And in substitution, every one chlorine, every one Cl2, chlorine must be in diatomic. It cannot be Cl alone because Cl alone is not stable. All right. And then, okay, it will suck with the hydrogen. Okay, one chlorine will suck with the hydrogen. That's why you see 8 becomes 7. Then Cl. Then the other Cl partner, the hydrogen chloride. And what happens if, let's say, I have C3H8, I have plus 2, Cl2 chlorine, then 2 hydrogen will be substituted. That means instead of H8, now is 6. Then sub is chlorine, Cl2. Then plus 2 HCl. Because now they got 2 chlorine come out, got 2 hydrogen, so 2 HCl. That's what we meant when we say one chlorine will only, one Cl2 will only sub with 1 hydrogen. Alright? Cracking basically means is big to small, so you write the formula first. Alright, there's no fixed product, not like what we learn in acid, like acid plus metal must give you salt hydrogen gas, acid plus carbonate give you salt carbon dioxide and water. But in this cracking, there's no fixed product. We just make sure that these two things will add up to give you your E10H22. So they know that propene is C3H6. So basically how we get 7 because 10 minus 3. So that in my 7 here, I can add to give me my 10 carbon. Then how I get 16 basically is 22 minus 6, right? We look at the hydrogen, 22, 6. That's it. All right. So with these main points, you can go on to practice the questions of organic chem, or you can do any 10-year series. You should get about 70, 80% understanding. But if you're not, don't worry. We will look at it on this Sunday again for the, okay, that's all for the organic chem.